So, good morning, students. So, today I am going to discuss a few keywords that is important for your Viva of chemistry practical. This will be useful for both 11th and 12th. So, keeping in mind this thing, I'm just going to discuss few points like what is mole fraction, mass percent, volume percent, molarity, molality, normality, equivalent weight, solubility, melting point, boiling point, freezing point, vapor pressure, formula of oxidizing agent, reducing agent, important salts, pH, POH, KW, acids, base, salts, conjugate acid, conjugate base. So let's start. So what is mole? So mole is actually a counting unit. Mole is a counting unit. It is one of the 7 basic units. So it is the unit for amount of substance. It is the unit for amount of substance. So mole denotes Avogadro number of particles, that is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 particles. So it contains as many particles as there are atoms in 12 gram of carbon. It contains as many particles as there are atoms in 12 gram of carbon. Carbon 12 is taken as the standard. So 1 mole denotes Avogadro number of particles. Mole fraction. Mole fraction is the mole of the component by total mole. Generally we discuss binary solution. So mole fraction of A is the mole of A upon total mole. Mole fraction of B is the mole of B upon total moles of all the component. The sum of mole fraction of all the component is unity. What is mass percent? Mass percent is the mass of a component by total mass into 100. Volume percent is the volume of the component by total volume into 100. Molarity. So molarity is the concentration unit which is defined as it is the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. Molarity is temperature dependent. It depends on temperature. So as we know, volume changes with temperature, so molarity also changes with temperature. So temperature increases, volume increases, so molarity decreases. So molarity is not a better unit to express concentration. You have to keep in mind some equation like molarity equation M1V1 equal to M2V2, or if you use the molarity equation in titration, then M1V1 upon N1 equal to M2V2 by N2. Now coming to molality. Molality is the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kg of solvent. It is temperature independent concentration unit. So its unit is molar, whereas the unit of molarity is molar. So 1 molar is 1 mole per liter, whereas 1 molar is 1 mole per kg. Normality is defined as the number of gram equivalent of solute per unit volume, or you can say per liter of solution, per liter volume of solution. So normality, the unit of normality is normal. Equivalent weight, it is the weight or it is the part which combines with 1 gram of hydrogen, 8 gram of oxygen, 35.5 gram of chlorine, 108 gram of silver, or which displaces 1 gram of hydrogen, 8 gram of oxygen, 35.5 gram of chlorine, or 108 gram of silver in any chemical reaction. So equivalent weight is given by, for elements, it is given by atomic weight by valency. So different valency, so their equivalent weight varies. Like you have to keep in mind for the equivalent weight of copper, that is 31.75, equivalent weight of zinc, that is 32.5, equivalent weight of silver 108, equivalent weight of aluminum 27. So how you will determine? So equivalent weight is atomic weight by valency. The valency of copper is 2, zinc is 2, silver is 1, aluminum is 3. So keeping the simple formula equivalent weight equal to atomic weight by valency, you can simply find out. But in a chemistry lab you will be asked like equivalent weight of oxidizing agent, reducing agent, salts, acids, bases, etc. So keep it in mind that the equivalent weight of acid is equal to molecular weight by basicity. For bases it is equivalent weight by acidity. For salts it is equivalent weight of salt equal to molecular weight by total positive or negative. What you have to take the magnitude only. You have to take the magnitude of positive charge or negative charge. So total positive charge And for equivalent weight of oxidizing agent, you have to take molecular weight by total number of electron gained, because as we know, an oxidizing agent gains electron during chemical reaction. An oxidizing agent gains electron during chemical reaction, whereas a reducing agent loses electrons. So reducing agent undergo oxidation, oxidizing agent undergo reduction. So equivalent weight of oxidizing agent equal to molecular weight by total electron gained. Total electron gained per molecule. Total electron gained per molecule. Equivalent weight of reducing agent equal to molecular weight by total electron lost per molecule. Total electron lost per molecule. Total electron lost per molecule. Now coming to solubility. Solubility is the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 gram or 100 ml of solvent at a particular temperature and pressure. There is a rule of thumb for solubility that is called like dissolves like. So polar solute dissolve in polar solvent, non-polar solute dissolve in non-polar solvent. One of the best solvent is water, which is the elixir of life. As you know, most of the substance dissolve in water, which is able to form hydrogen bond with water, or which is able to break the hydrogen bond present already in water. So solubility is the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved at a particular temperature and pressure. So whenever we write the solubility, we make sure that the temperature is also mentioned there. Now melting points or freezing point. So freezing point is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of liquid and solid are in dynamic equilibrium, or we can say the vapor pressure are in equilibrium. What is boiling point? The temperature at which the vapor pressure of a liquid equals external pressure or atmospheric pressure. Vapor pressure at equilibrium, when the rate of evaporation is equal to rate of condensation, the pressure exerted by solvent molecules, on the surface of liquid is called vapor pressure. You have to remember some formulas of oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Like oxidizing agent, potassium permanganate, KMnO4, potassium dichromate, K2Cr2O7, sodium dichromate, Na2Cr2O7. Reducing agent like lithium aluminum hydride, LaH, sodium borohydride, some more reducing agent. In oxidizing agent, you can remember that chlorine, fluorine, bromine, these are all oxidizing agent. In reducing agent, you have to remember that hydrogen peroxide act as oxidizing agent, reducing agent, bleaching agent. Okay, so list of oxidizing agent, reducing agent will be very helpful for your practical exam. Now coming to important salts like more salt, carnallite. So these salts you have to keep in mind. Some salts are like double salt, like carnallite, KCl, MgCl2, 6H2O. So these salts, you have to prepare a list of the salt and you have to remember their formula, because these are the chances that they will be asked in your practical exam. Now coming to pH. pH is actually derived from the German word P. P means potential. It's the potential of the H plus ion concentration. So pH is the negative logarithm of H plus ion concentration in moles per liter. Now coming to POH. POH is negative logarithm of OH minus ion concentration. So we know that pH plus POH equal to 14, or we can say pKW. pKW, where Kw is called the ionic product of water. So ionic product of water is the product of the concentration of H plus and OH minus, and generally we measure ionic product of water at 298 Kelvin. So the value of ionic product of water is 1.0 into 10 to the minus 14 mole per square, mole square per liter square, or we can say molar square. So pH plus pOH equal to pKW, or we can say that 14. So pH plus pOH equal to 14. Acids. So there are lots of concept of acid, like the Arrhenius concept, the Bronsted-Lowry concept, Lewis concept. So you have to keep in definition of the simple concepts of acid, like Arrhenius. Acid is a substance which when dissolved in water give H plus ion. Base is a substance which when dissolved in water give OH minus ion. Acid is a substance which increases the concentration of H plus ion or hydronium ion in water. Base is a substance which increases the concentration of OH minus ion in water. According to Bronsted-Lowry concept, acids are proton donor, bases are proton acceptor. According to Lewis concept of acid and base, acids are lone pair of electron acceptor and bases are lone pair of electron donor. So these simple concept of acid base you have to remember. You have to know how salts are produced. So salts are produced by neutralization reactions. Salts are produced by neutralization reactions. So you have to remember the few reactions, and you must be knowing that the enthalpy of neutralization is constant for a strong acid and a strong base. So strong acid, strong base, it will form salt plus water. During this process, the enthalpy of neutralization constant, and that is equal to minus 51.7. that you have to remember. Salt plus water. So strong acid and strong base salt will not undergo any hydrolysis. Conjugate acid. How you will determine conjugate acid and base? So when you take a substance, you add H plus to it, then we will get conjugate acid. If you want to get a conjugate base from an acid, you have to remove H plus. So like if suppose they ask you HCl what is the conjugate base, then Cl minus is the conjugate base. Suppose ammonia they are asking what is the conjugate acid, then you have to add H plus to get ammonium ion. So this is the conjugate acid. A conjugate acid base pair differs in proton. So that is the Bronsted-Lowry concept. Stronger the acid, weaker the conjugate base. Weaker the acid, stronger is the conjugate base. So these are the concepts that you have to remember. And the organic part I am now discussing. So this was the topic. Now coming to organic parts. So generally the determination of functional group that is asked, how you will able to distinguish two or more compounds. Like suppose if they ask you what is the general formula of alkane, so you can write CnH2n plus 2. What is the general formula of alkene? CnH2n. What is the general formula of alkyne? CnH2n minus 2. What is the general formula of alcohol? CnH2n plus 1 OH. This is saturated alcohols. There are unsaturated alcohols also. What is the general formula of aldehyde? So CnH2n plus 1 CHO. You can write like this, C2n H2n plus 2O, like this. So ketones, they have also similar type of formula. Amines, there are three types of amines: 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree amines. RNH2, R-NH, R-N. Carboxylic acid, CnH2n plus 1 COOH. Phenols. Now what are the basic questions that they can ask you? So first and foremost, alkenes has a carbon-carbon double bond, alkynes have a carbon-carbon triple bond. So what are the tests of unsaturation? What are the tests of unsaturation? So you must be knowing test of unsaturation. So bromine water test, Br2 test, and Bayer's reagent test. So this you have to remember. The unsaturated compound decolorizes bromine water. This is not given by benzene. So this decolorizes the reddish brown color of bromine. And Bayer's reagent test. What is Bayer's reagent? So they can ask you what is Bayer's reagent. So Bayer's reagent is 1% alkaline KMnO4. So if ethene is treated with Bayer's reagent, it will give ethylene glycol. So these are the tests of unsaturation. So unsaturated compound gives this test. Suppose if you want to know about alkynes, so alkynes will react with sodium metal because it is highly acidic. It is acidic in nature due to presence of acidic hydrogen. So if you see, this hydrogen is acidic because it is attached to sp hybridized carbon. sp hybridized carbon is highly electronegative, so H plus comes out as, so H comes out as H plus, so it can react with metal like sodium to form monosodium ethanide, or it can further react to form disodium ethanide. So that is white color. So that you have to remember. Alcohols, the general formula of alcohol CnH2n plus 2O, or the same first member is methanol, the second member is ethanol, They can be distinguished by iodoform test. They can ask you one question, how alcohols is distinguished with phenols. So phenol react with FeCl3 to give violet blue color complex. Alcohol fails to give this test. This way ethanol can be distinguished with phenol. Next is aldehyde ketone. Most of the question basically asked in aldehydes and ketone, how aldehydes and ketones are distinguished. So it will give tolerance test. It will give failing solution test. But ketones will not give tolerance test and failing test. So tolerance reagent is ammonical silver nitrate. So aldehyde gives silver mirror with tolerance reagent, but ketones fails to give. So during this reaction, the aldehydes are converted into salts of carboxylic acid, or simply you can say carboxylic acid. Failing solution is a mixture of failing A and failing B. Failing A is sodium aqueous copper sulfate, and failing B is sodium potassium tartrate, which is also called Rauchley salt. So equimolar mixture of failing A and failing B form failing solution. So aldehydes give red brick precipitate of Cu2O. Ketones fails to give this test. This way aldehydes and ketones are differentiated or distinguished, you can say. Now coming to amines. The characteristic reaction of 1 degree amines is carbylamine reaction. The characteristic reaction of 1 degree amine is carbylamine reaction. So 1 degree amines when treated with chloroform and alkali will give a very bad smell of isocyanide, also called carbylamine. 2 degree and 3 degree will not give carbylamine test. So 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree can further be distinguished by Hinsberg reagent. And the Hinsberg reagent is benzene sulfonyl chloride. Benzene sulfonyl chloride. So 1 degree amines will give sulfonamide, which will be soluble in alkali. 2 degree will give sulfonamide, but it will be insoluble because there is no hydrogen left here, so it will be insoluble in alkali. And 3 degree will not react with Hinsberg reagent. This way we can distinguish amines, different classes of amines. So 2 points you have to remember here. One is called the carbylamine test, carbylamine reaction. And another is the Hinsberg reagent. Another is the Hinsberg reagent, which is very important for your exam. Hinsberg reagent. It is benzene sulfonyl chloride. So this is Hinsberg reagent. This is Hinsberg reagent. Now coming to carboxylic acid, suppose they ask you how benzoic acid is distinguished from phenol. So benzoic acid being a stronger acid as compared to phenol, it reacts with sodium bicarbonate to give a brisk effervescence of CO2. Phenols fails to give this test. But a phenol which has a more than one NO2 group, that is electron withdrawing group, the acidic strength of that phenol increases. That means the picric acid, which is 2,4,6 trinitrophenol, is more acidic than phenol due to presence of 3 electron withdrawing group. So mostly these are the questions that will be asked. So you have to keep in mind the functional group, what are the basic reaction, how to know that the group present is carbonyl group. Okay, so 2,4-DNP test you have to do. You have to know how aldehydes and ketones can be distinguished by Tollens reagent, failing solution, etc. So this was my small video for your practical viva. I hope you like it, and this will be really helpful for you, and this will keep you in a good state, good frame of mind to face your practical viva. All the best from Sandeep sir. Thank you.